You're locked into Food and Travel Nation with Elizabeth Doherty. Once again, here's Elizabeth.
So today, we did the show yesterday, and today I wake up and I find out, hey, there were noises on the Starliner. Unexplained noises. Now, if we go in the Wayback Machine, there's been a lot of theories about space, and people say aliens. I would like to say extraterrestrials, in case they are real. Maybe we're the aliens, I don't know. So these ETs, this is a theory that the U.S. was talking about a fake invasion predicted to begin in 2024. A lot of people say that's a conspiracy theory. I have a different take on it. I think there are two separate discussions. I think there are extraterrestrials. I do, because of all the research I've done on these secret bases and stuff like that. There's actually one in Alaska. And I do think there is some kind of other influence happening in our planet. I also think that it's possible that there are already two types of basically human-ish like life forms on this planet. There's some really evil people, and I think they're mostly in Antarctica. A lot of people have talked about Antarctica and the bases underground in Antarctica. So that's not out of the question that if you were going to do specialized research, you could do it safely there where no one can bother you. Same with the base in Alaska. But I think the base in Alaska had more to do with controlling the weather on the planet. All I can tell you is that there have been stories like this going on for years and years and years. Right now, people have been psyopted so much that they don't believe anything. They don't believe the government anymore. And let's take both sides of this. First, how hard would it be to hack a speaker on the Starliner? I don't think it would be impossible to do that. It was only one speaker this noise was emanating out of, from my understanding. Let's listen to the clip. You tell me.
Houston on 2, I've got a question about the Starliner.
Houston's with you, Butch. Go ahead.
There's a strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you could connect into the Starliner and let me keep mic and let you hear it. I don't know what's making it, but I don't know if it's something that maybe is connected between here and there, making that happen. But anyway, can you do that?
We can configure that, Butch. Give us a minute, and I'll call you back when it's ready.
Okay.
Station Houston on 2, we're configured for audio via hardline and CST, if you want to give us a call.
Okay, I'm in Starliner, and how do you read?
5x5, how me?
Yes, sir. Okay, I'm gonna keep the mic up next to the speaker.
Copy.
Hear that?
At negative, Butch, we did not hear anything.
That.
All right, Butch, that one came through. It was kind of like a pulsing noise, almost like a sonar ping.
Yeah, I'll do it one more time, and I'll let y'all scratch your heads and see if you can figure out what's going on. Here we go. All right, over to you. Tell us if you figure it out.
Yep, good recording. Thanks, Butch. We will pass it on to the team and let you know what we find. And Butch, just to make sure I'm on the same page, this is emanating from the speaker in Starliner. You don't notice anything else, any other noises, any other weird configs in there?
Nothing else. Everything else is normal.
Okay, thank you.
So there's the clip with Butch reporting that he heard this sound. It reminds me of the movie Contact, where they started hearing that sound like that. So maybe a little predictive programming in that movie. I don't know. All I can tell you is we're dealing with people in our government who are desperate. When I say desperate, I'm not just talking about wanting to win kind of desperate. I'm talking about self-preservation kind of desperate. So I think at this point, these people would do anything to distract from the current political conversation, which I don't want to get into right now. Actually, really, it's not part of my program. So let's talk about Project Bluebeam, because I have talked extensively about Starliner on this program. They say this is a conspiracy theory. There are actual documents about this. Project Bluebeam is a conspiracy theory that originated in the mid-1990s. I think it was before that. It was populated by Sergei Monast. So Sergei Monast supposedly came up with this theory, but he was a Canadian investigative journalist, but now he's also labeled as a conspiracy theorist. According to him, Project Bluebeam is a secret plan orchestrated by NASA and other powerful organizations like the government and internationally to implement a new world order through a staged, technologically simulated second coming of Christ or an alien invasion. The ultimate goal is to control the global population under a unified authoritative government. Now, with all the calls for the UN to be completely dismantled, and now we know all the stuff they've been doing with these wells that they were digging with poisoned water. I mean, the water wasn't clean to drink. All these different things that the UN does, these vaccination programs, everything else. Are they really trying to save the planet? And the worst part of all was when these organizations, they got an award for solving world hunger. I mean, really, if you believe any of this stuff, it's crazy. So the UN is under a lot of pressure right now because nobody believes the UN anymore. Nobody. So what are they going to do? This is a possibility. It's possibly real, okay? It could be real because there are two narratives here. There are actual people that have seen aliens, alien bodies, all sorts of things on this planet. Were they already here or did they come here? We don't know. At the same time, you've got this situation now where we're supposed to believe that there's some kind of anomaly on the Starliner. I don't think Butch would know if NASA were going to do something like that. I don't think they would tell him ahead of time. I don't think they would say, hey, we're going to do this thing. They would just do it because no one really trusts NASA either. With all their pictures, their enhanced photography, making Mars look way more orange than it actually is, all these things. I've seen pictures of Mars that look like Arizona. They don't look like what we see. So I don't really know because I haven't been there. But here's the elements, and I've debunked them all along the way. The advanced holographic technology. Disney has a patent on this holographic technology. They also use drones in their new fireworks display to make all sorts of shapes and different things. And it's all sort of synchronized. So it looks like an object. But when there was a giant hologram in Orlando and people thought it was aliens and they were posting on the internet, I said, no. Disney has had that technology for probably, I think, a couple decades at least. So they don't use the holograms so much anymore. Psychological manipulation, which could be what's happening right now. Project Bluebeam proponents claim that the operation would employ sophisticated psychological and mind control techniques. The idea is that images, messages, and sounds beamed across the sky will be used to manipulate people's thoughts and beliefs, making them more susceptible to accepting a new global religion or government. So what do you think? You think this is real? You think after all the lies we've been told over the last 5 years, and way longer than that, we just become keenly aware of it in the last 5 years, do you think a desperate world government would do such a thing? It's possible. Artificial intelligence and mind control. The theory also includes the idea that advanced AI and mind control technology could be used to communicate directly with individuals' brains. You remember we talked about the nanotechnology and how it can be manipulated by microwaves. These are facts. That's not a conspiracy theory. And I've mentioned James Giordano as being the guy who was teaching the military about this technology. Global fake alien invasion. One version suggests that the culmination of Project Bluebeam would be a staged alien invasion, uniting humanity under a single banner to fight a perceived extraterrestrial threat. This would pave the way for the establishment of a one-world government. So you better get your world coins now. Natural disasters and chaos. Another element involves the use of weather modification technology. Remember I mentioned Alaska? To create natural disasters such as earthquakes and tsunamis to destabilize societies and further justify the establishment of an authoritarian global regime. So of course it's debunked by the government and called a conspiracy theory. After all this time, after all this name calling of journalists, actually trying to find out what's going on so that they're silenced, you got the government using other individuals, hand-selected, to project their message. So as long as you're aware of that, you need to look for more than one source for every story that comes out about this. Don't just turn on the television and believe what you hear or see. There's holographic technology. There's all sorts of ways to break into communication systems. Could be real. I mean, do you remember, let me just give you an example. Do you remember when people were taking over baby monitors and talking to people's babies through the baby monitors? This is what I'm talking about. There's so much technology right now that is unregulated for the most part. I'm just telling you, before you freak out about the idea of extraterrestrials invading our planet or something, let's take a step back and really look at who we trust to convey the narrative. So that's your morning memo. Today is Sunday, September 1st. See you on the radio.
Join us for the live feed of Food and Travel Nation with Elizabeth Doherty, now at our new time, Saturday afternoons at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, on foodandtravelnation.com, TalkStream Live, radio.net, and on the Odyssey and TuneIn apps.
I love you guys. Thanks for telling us the truth.
Thanks for listening to Food and Travel Nation with Elizabeth Doherty, the truth about food and travel.